this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Oh, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Class is in session. Please be seated. Behaviors that get attention get repeated. Avoid the power struggle cause it will get you heated. Listen to Amanda cause she knows how to teach it. Yo, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Oh, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Yeah, yeah,
Hello and welcome to the Parenting with a Punch show. I am your host, Amanda Houle, founder of Parenting with a Punch. I have an amazing guest here today by the name of Jennifer Zumbiel. She is the founder of Togather Moments. She is on a mission to make your family's communication more easy, meaningful, and fun. And she does this through cool games that can help you get past the surface and dig deeper in the small moments that you already have. Let's give her a warm welcome. Hello, Jennifer.
Hey, Amanda. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to have you on today and to let our viewers know your amazing product. And that is just like so in line with everything that I put out into the world. So I'm really, really excited to have you on and share with our community.
Thank you. I'm excited to share.
Yeah. So please tell us about Togather Moments and what it is.
It's funny, as you were reading that intro, I thought, oh my gosh, yes, I did create this to grow into because it's exactly what I need. Oh my goodness. We have 4 children. I have to be able to connect and communicate within our family in those small moments, because as we are getting busier, those moments are dwindling.
Yes.
So basically, I've been married for 15 years to my high school sweetheart. We live in the same area where we grew up, which is in Kentucky. And we have 4 children, ages 4 up to 12. My oldest is 7th grade. And several years ago, it was about over 3 years ago, I just saw the way that our life was going as far as getting busier and knowing what our culture is growing into or has already become with this lack of face-to-face communication. And I thought, you know what? Something has to be done. And I didn't necessarily know it was going to be me doing anything.
Right.
But we were sitting at a restaurant. I had an overwhelming feeling that I just couldn't live in a world like this anymore without doing something. So I just felt like God was laying all these ideas on my heart to really find a way for families to have meaningful communication. And I didn't feel like distractions were going anywhere. As much as we all would love to say, I'll put my child in one activity, or we'll have family dinner 6 nights a week, or we'll all sit down and have game night every Tuesday night, whatever it is.
Right.
You know, the reality is it's hard.
Yeah.
And then there's that little screen that vies for your attention all the time. And you have to have a lot of deliberate things in place to make that not become a distraction. So anyway, with all that being said, one thing led to another, and I realized that the secret lied in the dinner table. So I thought, I'm going to create a product that makes people have meaningful communication, especially around the dinner table.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Now you have how many different versions? You just came out with another one?
I did. So I have the original, which is Together for Family Dinner. Then we launched Together for Lunch Bags, Together for Advent, for Easter, and today I just picked up Together for Date Night. Actually, my husband picked it up, which is very fitting, from the printer. My first round was just printed and bound. So everything's, the Date Night and the original are bound in books, and our secret ingredient is stickers. So all these conversation starters are on stickers, and the lunch bag, Advent, and Easter are on single pages that you peel and do something else with. You can put them in your kid's lunch bag. And
cool.
yes.
So,
and Advent and Easter, you count you count up to Christmas and you count up to Easter and whatever.
Oh, that's awesome. So walk us through kind of one of like the dinner conversations.
Okay.
Or pick whatever you.
Okay. Can I back up and say how I really decided to do this?
Yes.
Okay. Picture anyone can relate to health, a fitness goal, eating goal, whatever it might be. But let's use the gym, right? Okay. Everybody has an idea to get into the gym to either work out with a personal trainer or just go and make a commitment to showing up certain days a week or hit a gym class or whatever it is, right?
Yep.
There are many different reasons why you do that. Some people do it because they already see a problem in their lifestyle and they think, okay, I have to fix this. I really have to commit to this. And that's awesome. So they do. Mm-hmm. Other people do it because they just simply love it. It's part of them. So they know I'm going to be there. It fills me up. And other people think, you know what? I just turned 40. Maybe I really need to be taking care of my body because I don't want to wake up in 10 years and wish that I had spent all this time doing the good things for it.
Right.
And that is how I think people need to look at this game. So communication is at all different stages when it comes to a family. Mm-hmm. You have the people who are awesome at communication already, and they value it so much. So they keep finding ways to make it better. Mm-hmm. You have the people who are struggling because their teenage son feels so distant from them, or they feel like they can't connect with their 8-year-old daughter, or whatever it is, or their 4-year-old son. What do I talk about with him, right? So they're seeking out different ways. And then you have the people who just think, wow, I don't want to wake up in 10 years and think, what happened to the foundation of our family? We don't even know each other anymore.
Right.
And I think if we look at communication the same way we look at our fitness health, we all see that there's a need for it, but we all see that it's good, but there's a different need in each of our families. And this is just a way to outsource and hold you accountable to what you know you already need as an important ingredient. And I think that, I know that so many problems in our world. And when I say world, I mean our little communities we live in.
Right.
At first, because that's our world, right?
Of course.
And then our big world. But I think so much of it, so many people want to put the blame on other things. Oh, the education system is letting us down. The healthcare system is letting us down, whatever it is.
Right.
Really, I think the heart of it is our families are breaking down because communication is breaking down. And whatever you define your family as, I'm talking about the breakdown in the sense of really knowing each other and knowing your hearts and building that self-confidence in one another and just understanding where you're at. Because if you can just have that good, solid communication, self-confidence, honesty, trustworthiness, good character, those are all just byproducts of knowing one another and really building each other up.
Couldn't agree more.
So with that being said, I'm sure, I know, we could do an entire...
yes, just on communication.
Absolutely. And I know that one of your things is you say behavior can always be changed. Mm-hmm. And it can. So I don't think that there's ever a situation where your communication cannot be fixed, honestly. Agreed. I just think you have to go about it the right way. So when I decided to create this and seek out a way to help families have stronger, more meaningful communication, I felt like the reality was, like I said before, you're not going to have all these incredible moments. So you really have to look at quality over quantity. Mm-hmm. Maybe, well, I knew that the answer lied around that dinner table because
Right.
everybody has to eat. And it's the one time during your day you're guaranteed to have a captive audience. Now, that is up to you. You
Right.
have to remove the screens.
Yes.
You have to sit at the table, not at a bar counter, unless that's your source of table, you know,
Right.
make that
work. Yeah.
Don't sit on the couch. Just make the effort to sit at the cleaned off dinner table.
Right.
Don't shove the mail and the homework to the side.
Yeah.
Keep it positive. Make sure everyone sits down at the same time and keep the screens off. And
Yes.
you have a captive audience. So what are you going to do? Well, if you just sit there and say, how was your day? And all the same old stuff, that is an effort for sure, but it's going to get stale and you're not getting past the surface. So I knew there was a way to combine this. Now, I was a high school history teacher for 8 years. So I know how to get teenagers to talk.
Yes.
And I enjoy that. I'm so passionate about it. I always said teaching was my dream job. And now I still teach. I just do it in a different way. But I created every single sticker. And the reason I did stickers is because I felt like it had to be just inclusive of everybody. It had to be interactive. And people had to own what they were talking about on that sticker, on that conversation prompt. And that's very different from cards, because cards, you can draw the same one meal after meal. And then you say, I answered this one last week. I did this one last week. And stickers are naturally fidgety and they're just fun. Everyone thinks stickers are fun.
Yeah.
So that's the whole premise. So what you would do is you'd open this book that has 7 categories with fold out sticker pages. Each page has 15 stickers for 105 stickers.
Okay.
Every single one will not give a one-word answer. It can't. The way I wrote it, you cannot do that. And it leads to more conversation naturally. So some of them are lighthearted.
Yep.
Some of them are deeper. And you can pick what works for your family. So let me give you an example. That was your original question. This is my long answer. But
oh, no, you're fine.
So one of the questions would be from home inspection category, which would say, what is the one? So I would, let me back up. I would peel a sticker, pass it to the next person. They would peel a sticker, put it on your plate, your napkin, your knee, your forehead, wherever's fun for you. And they will not damage your table. Just, make sure it's not grandma's old
antique
or whatever, right? Just be careful. But then we go around and I might go first. So mine would say, name the one household item that is left out the most often. So you can see that gets a lot of giggles. That got a giggle out of me immediately because I'm laughing, although my husband would be getting annoyed by it. My intention is not to cause family arguments. Everyone is a positive conversation for the most part.
Yes.
Unless you turn it away. But in our house, it's the white stool. Everyone drags that white stool out to get higher up. And it never gets put back away. So it's just silly. That would lead to funny banter at our kitchen table.
Yeah.
So that's a lighthearted one. And then I'll give you an example of a really special one from a customer. So here's a good example from a customer that is from our warm and fuzzy category. And the sticker is explain one special talent that the person sitting next to you possesses. I had a customer send me this through a direct message on Instagram. And she said, so we were sitting around the table. She has 5 children. Her youngest is a 14-year-old girl. And I think one of her other children were at home, and her and her husband. And her daughter peeled that sticker and she turned to her dad and she said, I think your special talent is that you listen to me really well and you always really care about what I say. And the mom, I know, how special is that? The mom said, I wanted you to know what kind of conversation that created at our family dinner table that night, because my husband started getting choked up. I started crying. My daughter just realized how important that was that she shared those words, and her son at the table got to hear this and witness it. And it's so cool because that dad, surely he's worked very hard at being a good listener. But for his daughter to validate it towards him and actually speak those words, how special is that? All because of a sticker. You don't often take time to just say, hey, Dad, you're a really good listener. Right, because it might come out awkward, even if you want to say it. It doesn't feel like the right moment to say it. But these stickers make every moment the right moment. And they do it in a small way. That conversation probably took 4 minutes, maybe.
Right.
But it led to so much. And I guarantee that dad definitely paid attention the next time his daughter needed him to listen, because he puffed up his shoulders a little more.
Yeah, he was like,
thought, wait a second, I'm going to own this. Right. I am a good listener. Yeah. And I'm going to keep showing you I am. And, and I bet the next time she kind of thought, I did tell you that, Dad. That was, and she felt good that she got to tell him. And there's a lot of categories that give the kids and the adults alike the opportunity to say things about themselves. So they get to kind of brag on themselves and talk about risks they've taken that they think were good ideas and proud accomplishments in their life. So it really just fosters that listening and confidence and character building.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, that confidence piece, with the self-esteem is so, so, so huge for both the children and the parents, and just in the relationships, between the spouse or significant other. And then with the children, I think every single family everywhere needs to have this. Like, I think it's such a beautiful thing. I'm really just so excited and proud of you for developing this. And I can't wait to see how successful it is, because I strongly believe in it. As you know, communication is one of the 4 pillars of the business, communicating effectively with both your children and partner. I see it all the time in working with families. One of the things that, we'll sit down and have, families' homes that I've gone into and I've given support, and sort of like having that team meeting, right? We'll have dinner together. Like, I'll sit and have dinner with the family, and to be able to.
As one of your first things you do.
Yeah. I mean, it maybe not like the first time that I'm there, but sometimes, yes. Like, if I'm going in for a consultation, because it's often that I'm there for the evening routine, because sometimes that's where there's this disconnect, right? And sitting down and having dinner with the family, and to be able to implement this and incorporate, something like this into it, I just think is so cool. I think it's so fun. And again, it just fosters that communication. And it's just, you see, the lack in communication. I've experienced it in my own love life. It's not easy, but you have to be cognizant and want to put in the effort and able to, work on it.
Yes. First, thank you for those really kind words, Amanda. You had me starting to get teared up there. I think that I asked if that was the first thing you did, because I do think a family dinner is very telling of the state of what's going on. And I don't mean that in a harsh way or a bad way. I mean, we moms are the keepers of the moments in our house. That is it. We have a lot of pressure to make those family memories, because we know when our kids grow up, we want them to have these great memories of laughing around the dinner table and Saturday excursions or whatever we think. And the truth is, when you get to the end of the day, whether you're a full-time stay-at-home mom, a full-time working mom, or a mix of everything in between, it's exhausting to, one, know what to do on top of everything else you're doing to connect your family. 2, when you're sitting down at that table, to even know what to say or want to dig deeper, because it just requires more mental effort. And I don't think, I know, right? I don't think anyone wants to get to that stage of disconnect and communication. It's just like anything else. It's a slow fade.
Yes.
And I think so often people feel like they're so far gone. How do I even reconnect with my teenager?
Right.
But like I said before, that what you say is you can always get past that. You can come back and change what happened or whatever.
Right.
To a degree. I know there's different circumstances there,
Yes.
but all it takes, if we're talking about teenagers in particular, that's not a demographic that doesn't want to talk or anything. It's just, I worked with them for so long in high school, it's just, how do you reach them? You have to reach them in the right way. I have a family in California. It was another girl who emailed me and said, I bought this because I have 4 teenagers. I think they're 13, 15, 17, 19 or something like that. They were all stair steps like that. Mm-hmm. She said, my teenagers are the ones who keep saying, let's play another round at dinner. Let's play another round at dinner. It's just fun. They want to be heard and they want to share their feelings and they want that positive reaction. And these stickers give it to them.
Yep. No, I agree. I mean, back to the teenagers, my very close best friend, who's really like a sister to me. So they're also high school sweethearts, and they've been married almost 20 years. So their daughters are 16 and 17. And just this past weekend, the younger one, the 16-year-old, was hanging out with us, which is sort of regular, on a weekend, if we're just kind of hanging out in the backyard and, maybe having a drink and just kicking it and just having fun, listening to music. And, she and I had a very real conversation and I was like, honey, I'm like, you should be, be very grateful that you're able to sit and hang out with us and sort of like be in the adult conversation. And, I was like, it's such a beautiful thing for you to be able to just like be in this energy and like that she's just herself, like she can express sort of like what's going on like in her world. And we have like very like, deep discussions sometimes and she's involved in it. And I just think it's such a beautiful thing. You, like you said, you have to know how to be able to like reach them, and mm-hmm. It's not about, it's just getting on their level and just sort of knowing like, and I'm just a natural goof at heart anyways. So like you kind of have to like play with their lingo or, and then sort of like get down to like where they're at. And it can be hard for families if there's that disconnect to know how to do that, especially with the teenage years. I mean, I think it can go back to any age really, but, and it just comes down to really just accepting your child for who they are. But it always comes back communication.
It does. I had a really great, when I was doing my observation hours when I was in grad school for teaching, one of the principals at one of the schools said a really cool thing to me. I said, I would always go into the principals and say, give me your best advice for teaching high school. And he said to me, every teenager is facing a whole lot of hardships and they feel like they're not getting a break in a lot of areas. Whether it's true or not, they feel that way. They feel like teachers pounding them with homework. Mom and dad are yelling at them about this. Boyfriend just broke up with me. Friends mad about this.
Yep.
And his advice from the teaching perspective was at any point that you feel like you can give your students a break in the classroom, on a test, whatever it might be, give it to them. Mm-hmm. Because in the end, that's going to be maybe that one point in their day that mattered and made them feel a lot more better. And they just felt more confident in whatever they were doing. And I think that's the same with us as parents. We get so high strung on everything we're doing. And a lot of times I'm the one that's not giving my kids the break. And, I have 4 kids. I just started yelling at my daughter the other night. We were having a bad night because it was the 3rd day in a row that she had forgotten to bring something home. And she's a 7th grader for studying. And it was a bad night. Yeah. And the next morning I woke up and I forget what it was, but I thought, I'm going to do this for her. something with getting her soccer. I think I got all her soccer stuff ready for practice that night, where she usually does it all. I just thought, I'm just going to give her a break because I've been heavy on her.
Yeah.
But I think, we can find those ways during our day. And I'm all about small moments. I think that one really good way to connect with our kids or our spouse is just bring up a quote. Find a quote that you really like and say, hey, I read this quote today. Let's talk about this. I thought it was so cool. It spoke to me in this way. How do you feel about it? But maybe get something that in a topic area you want to talk about with your child. One thing that I really like is the Dr. Seuss quote from the Lorax. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, or is it me? Now I can't even say it on the spot. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to change. It's not.
Yep.
That's what it is. But we've talked about that in our house, and it just brings up really good conversations. So I think that's always a way to get your kids to open up to, or your spouse.
Agreed. Yeah. I mean, and it goes right back to just being mindful and just being able to recognize, like you said, some days are extremely hard, and you forget, in those small moments, like how you're showing up. And when you are able to just implement more mindfulness with that communication, I think it just makes a huge difference. And it really just opens up a whole world of like new possibilities, and just different ways to be able to connect with each other.
Absolutely. And then it just opens up that style. So if you're used to having prompts like this, then it'll just come naturally the next time you're riding in the car, right? Or taking a walk together.
Agreed.
Because it just builds.
Yep.
I'll say real quick about the date night game.
Yes, please.
We just launched.
I think that's really cool, especially for, couples that are looking to, go down the path of getting married and having a family. Having that strong foundation is really huge. So I love this. I think it's really cool.
So I'm glad you said that point, because I actually designed, this is in the exact same format, 105 stickers. On the front, it says, for couples dating and want to grow closer to married for many decades.
Awesome.
So I made it. It's funny. I was at a physical therapy appointment with my mom this morning that I had to take her to. And there was a gentleman sitting next to me we started chatting. He's been married for 53 years. And I was doing some work, and he was looking at my game, and he said, I'd love this if I was younger. So of course I pull out my date night, and I said, you've been married 53 years, but you and your wife will love this. And he was looking at it, and he thought, oh my gosh, I think we really would love this. It was cute.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I keep saying I was drawn to this and felt very led to this because of the heart of the family. But it's interesting. I launched this in May of 2018, and my kids keep getting older and keep getting busier. We have dance, we have soccer, basketball, piano, everything.
Right.
And I think the heart of the family is the couple.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
It is so easy for me to want to really focus on my children, make sure they're stable and emotionally fine and growing into confident human beings.
Yes.
And when I don't have all the time in the world, which I don't, Matt gets pushed aside naturally, not because I want to, but mostly because the days just go on and I don't think about it. He travels a lot. He comes home. We're crazy busy shuffling the kids, getting to bedtime. I do a lot of my work at night because I don't want it to cut into the kids' time. And naturally, our communication, if we are not intentional, it goes poof all by itself. And and also, we've been together for 23 years because we dated for a long time before we got married, and it just is comfortable. And Matt's fine. We're fine. And we are fine. But we're not going to be fine if we don't work at it, right? So we actually did one of the stickers a couple weeks ago for the first time from the date night, and it's from a category called My One and Only. And the sticker was something simple. I will say we usually go straight to bed, and a lot of people talk in bed at night. We're just exhausted. We just, we don't usually use it for talking so much.
Right.
And we did that night. And we talked for 35 minutes about 2 stickers. One was from My One and Only. What's the one dream you had? Or it was not one dream. What's the one thing that scared you as a child? And he told me about this reoccurring shark dream he used to have. And I said, what? I never knew this about you. You have never told me this. And then he was going into depth. I had it. I swear I had it 20 times when I was a kid. And then we started analyzing that dream and what it probably meant.
Right.
But the point was, we connected really well. And we woke up that next morning feeling really good about us.
Yeah.
Because it only takes a small connection to really bring you back to what the root of you guys is. And you have to do that over time, but
It's so true. Yeah, no, I mean, we see it. I mean, in our world today, our divorce rate is super high. I think families are they're falling apart, for many reasons. Obviously, every family has their own struggle or things that they're working through. But I just think it's so important to really have that foundation. And I've always said that you have to put your relationship first before your children, because you two came together before you had children. You can't forget that. You can't just, you can't just stop fueling that foundation with each other. You have to keep up with it,
I'm so glad you put that in your parenting advice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's, and I've heard backlash from it, and it's fine. I mean, not everybody's going to be for you. And well, how do you put, of course my children come first. And it's like, well, no, because you can't pour from an empty cup. And, I mean, obviously we have to take care of ourselves individually, but if you are taking care of yourself, as your own human, and then pouring it into your relationship, then naturally you're going to be able to pour it more into your children, because you're already filled up as a team and you're on the same page and you're working together. And yeah, hiccups are going to happen, miscommunication is going to happen, but if you both have that foundation, and I think faith also plays a really big role in that. Obviously, different people have their own belief, when it comes to faith, but I've just found for myself, and I know for you, it's a, a big part of your family. I think that it's really huge, and it's the families that I see that have faith that really are able to stay strong and work through what they need to work through, because faith is a huge piece. I do strongly believe in that.
Absolutely. And if we tie that in with all this communication, if you can make prayer time together as a family a consistent act of your family mealtime,
right?
That right there is what unifies you at the beginning of that meal. Don't eat till everyone is seated, right, and don't eat until everybody has prayed together. Whatever your prayer is at the beginning of that meal, that speaks volumes of what you want the foundation to be for your family. And it doesn't have to be just recite a prayer. Put one of those prayer cubes on your table, grab it, and say a different prayer every night. Say the same one, however it works for you. I absolutely agree. It's interesting. I have been feeling that God has been laying on my heart a whole lot about self-discipline in my life in all areas. And I did a little personal challenge on myself and wrote down all the areas I have self-discipline. It was 2. And everything else was not. I don't have self-discipline in laundry, in cleaning, in schedule, the family calendar, and working out. I try to be, but there's no consistent consistency all the time. I'll let things get in the way. But you know what the two things are? We go to church every single Sunday and we pray before every meal and at bedtime. And at first I thought there's only two. And then I thought, oh my gosh, that is why we haven't drowned in everything else, because it's holding us together. And yes, faith, a strong faith in foundation in your family is imperative.
Agreed.
For everything else to work.
It's true. It's true. I've seen it in my own life. I mean, prayer is, morning, night, sometimes in the afternoon. And I think it's very important to be able to still in your family. So I think that's really beautiful. And it really, again, just ties back into the communication and making it fun, like with this game, and deep, like, and having those small moments. I'm really, really passionate about, and I know you are too, and really just fostering our world, moving more into that direction and being more love and light, because we need it. There's so much going on in our worlds and just the collective as a whole. And there's a lot of pain. And I think we have to contribute in our own way and what our passions are, like you said, you felt like you needed to do something. And I think that's, when people like yourself are putting this out into the world, that's what helps trickle, because, I've heard, from my energy healer, and I've heard it elsewhere as well, but all it takes is you helping to heal one person, or you being that love and light, because when you are love and light, it goes to the next person, and then that person interacts with that person. It's a trickle effect. So it's important.
I love that. I absolutely believe it's one person. And unfortunately, our society is all about bigger and greater and more and more and more. And so we think, if I'm not impacting 100,000 people at the time, then it's not worth it. Right. But it is.
It is.
And I think one thing that we can all be better at to make an instant change in being that light and love for other people, and having better communication skills, if that's what we're talking about, is teach yourself and your children, and even talk to your spouse about it if it's okay, to have eye contact. Use eye contact and use people's names. So at the checkout line, if you're fumbling for your wallet, don't say, hey, how are you, while you're looking down in your purse.
Make eye contact.
Make eye contact. It changes so much when your children walk into school. Say, okay, look, Mrs. Jones in the eye and say, good morning, Mrs. Jones, and use her name. And I think we just need to think of those little things that do make someone's day better and make our day better. And that we need, I love what you just said. Yes, it only has to hit one person to make a difference, because you don't know who that's going to affect.
Right, exactly. And it's just the little things, the small moments are what are really what contributes to the bigger. And you just, it's one small moment, one small, incident at a time, or occurrence at a time. And boom, before you know it, it's something huge, or whatever, whatever it is, like you're impacting that bigger audience, but you have to start somewhere, obviously. And being mindful of that on a daily basis throughout your day, is just so important. And again, like it's been huge in my own life. And it's really made a difference. And I couldn't be more grateful for that. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, so where can our viewers find this amazing product and purchase? Every single person that listens to this podcast needs to purchase.
Thank you for that. You can connect with me at Togather Moments on Facebook and Instagram, and feel free to direct message me over there. Our website is togathermoments.com. Our shop is on there. You can find all of our products there. Advent is seasonal and will be starting mid-October, but that will only sell for about a couple weeks. Okay. And then I purchase what I sell.
Awesome. What you sell. Yep.
Yes, because I have to have those out by December 1st. You can also go to togathermoments.com/try to download a sample of 7 stickers from our game.
Oh, cool.
To print at home.
Awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
Very cool. Well,
so I love, if you follow me on social, you'll find I try to always put out really good, quick ways to connect with your family during the day.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. You do a great job at that. So thank you for everything that you do and for being a love and a light. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Likewise to you. You're really impacting families and empowering parents for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, have a beautiful day. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for tuning into the show today. Please be sure to leave a rating and or review. That's how we reach more families. And please head on over to Jennifer's website. I think every family should have this game. Such a fun and exciting way to just rebuild and reset and really focus on communication, because it's one of the most important things in any and all healthy relationships. As always, keep asking for more.
Yo, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Oh, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Class is in session. Please be seated. Behaviors that get attention get repeated. Avoid the power struggle, cause it will get you heated. Listen to Amanda, cause she knows how to teach it. Yo, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Oh, this ain't parents out to lunch. No, this is parenting with the punch. Yeah, yeah, yeah.